Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as always, we'll be talking about our weekly Torah portion, Parshas Mikets. At the end of the story, even there are details in the story, but we are in the midst of the story of relation between brothers and Joseph, and it's undying, internal story of brotherly rivalry. But it's not only here. The beginning of the humanity begins with a fight between the brothers. The first fight are the first children, first brothers in the human history, Cain and Abel, that coming to this rivalry comes to the bitter end of the murder, because the brothers couldn't coexist together. Then Avram figures out that you need a family, you have to create the family, but he himself doesn't understand yet and almost kills one of the brothers, meaning Yitzchak. And this rivalry, even Yitzchak and Ishmael, they got together, they were living in peace towards the end, but this fight between the descendants of Yitzchak, us, Jewish people, and descendants of Ishmael, supposedly Arabs, is existing until today. Yitzchak faces the same problem, has two children, two brothers, Yaakov and Esav, and even him and his wife, Rebecca, they try to navigate this difficult and complicated relation between the brothers. At the end of the day, as we say, Esau will hate Yaakov, and this hate is very relevant for us today, because according to some opinions, Romans were descendants of Esau who destroyed the second temple, and we, descendants of Yaakov, are still in that exile after the destruction of the second temple. Yaakov comes to exactly this, he falls to the same trick, to the same problem of the brotherly rivalry. Even he has 12 children, and as we know, they all became the heads and leaders of the tribes of the Jewish people, Shiftei Israel, but he himself chooses one son, exactly like his father and his grandfather. He gives a special attention to Joseph, even distinguish him with a special coat, with the stripes, and but the brothers, they decided, we need to step out of this paradigm, on this problem of constant brother rivalry, and everybody understands differently. The 10 brothers understands that Joseph thinks that he is so special, and he is an old state of mind of the one brother should prevail, and they decided to kill him. But what they didn't know, that Joseph also wanted to step out from this paradigm of this old way of thinking and state of mind, and this where the central phrase, in my opinion at least, and this story comes to be when Joseph, in the previous weekly chapter, he screams at Achai ani mevakesh. I ask him, my brother, for my brothers, I want to be together with my brothers. Unfortunately, we needed the Egyptian exile, hunger, oppression, slavery, until the true brothers comes to be, Moshe and Aaron. They don't have a rivalry. They all understand that they complete each other. They both need it. There is no jealousy, no trying to overcome one brother over another. But doesn't sound familiar to you? The question is why we always need those tragedies to understand that we are brothers and there is no rivalry. We're part of the same Jewish nation. Why do we need all these oppressions and exiles to remember that we are brothers? And this is why Joseph screamed, Et achai ani mevakesh, I'm asking, I'm begging for my brothers, is so relevant today as well. Thank you very much. Good luck. I see you next week.